Hey, what's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. I hope all your lady lumps are humping the way they're supposed to be humping. I'm lumping, I'm humping. You know, it is what it is. It's Project Runway time. Okay, look, the Project Runway schedule. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. I had to figure this thing out. The problem with Project Runway is these pictures don't be readily available. And so it takes a little time to, find these looks. It looks really crazy, like trying to take a picture from the TV. And it really doesn't do any of us any justice to talk about looks that we can't see. It's like a fashion show with no fashions. How dreadful. Y'all know all about that. Anyway, we got fashions. I figured it out. So Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, it's going to be Project Runway. It's going to be you and me and whoever else wants to come on in here. El Cid's here. What's up, El Cid? El Cid says for y'all to please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's the thing to do. El Cid just slid on over here. She just had a conversation about them King's Court. And so if you want to do a double with the cousins, you can check out El Cid around 5 o'clock so to get your King's Court situation together. Then you can slide over here and we can get on this runway. Did y'all enjoy the opening first 2 episodes of Project Runway? I did. But I always do. Last week I went over the designers and we're going to reintroduce them, because that's what we have to do over here. We got your judges. We got the Law Roach, and we've got Heidi Klum back in the house, and always holding it down over here, Nina Garcia. Now they're going to be judging these fashion experts or not. I feel like there's a lot of self-taught going on over here, and I think self-taught is a beautiful thing. I'm a hair cosmetology educator, and self-taught students are the best kind because they have a passion for the business. I always tell my students, I can't teach you how to be creative. I can just teach you techniques. And that's what happens when you go to school. You learn techniques and you blend it with your creativity and you end up with great construction. And a lot of times when you're self-taught, you miss things and the great construction becomes a problem. When I was in college, way back in the day, I went to Barter Fashion College in Atlanta, just in case you haven't heard that before. We were allowed to skip a class. And so they gave you, when you got in the classroom and they're like, this is 8 hours a day class. Those are usually your construction and your pattern making classes. You got 8 hours here and you can miss 2 days and that's all you got. And if you miss 2 days, regardless to what your grade is, you still fail the course. I'm not mad at that because you miss a lot. You miss a lot in, all those hours. And you can see that these guys don't have, time. They usually have a day or two to create and construct things. I think mostly that's about time management. And that's something that designers have a hard time with, not in the construction process necessarily, but in the vision. And when your vision doesn't match, what's on paper, match with what your idea is. And, that's when that construction and that technique comes into play. So like I said, it's a lot of self-taught going on over here. When I was in school, had the great idea that textiles was stupid and I didn't see why I needed to be there. So that's the one class that I dropped. And so I had to learn textiles by trial and error. I feel like if I would have stayed my ass in that class, then the trial and error would have been a lot less expensive for me over here buying fabrics that aren't going to do things that you want them to do. So, that's just, trials and tribulations of being a hard-headed young designer. One thing about these designers that I can identify with, when you get in your creative space, you don't want to share your energy with anyone. So teams are not always the best things. For some people, yeah, not for everyone, because you've got these independent thinking people over here. So when the groups, sometimes can get people in a tizzy. I feel like that's the same, regardless to what your line of work is. Sometimes those team projects can be more work than, just doing it by yourself. Constructive criticism is not always easy to take. When you're working on something and it's your baby and you birthed it from paper into reality and somebody tells you, that's very basic. I don't like it. It looks stupid. Depending on who's the critiquer. But, that's just how that goes. So Joseph McCrae, Joseph McCrae, Joseph McCrae, Joseph McCrae. You have to say the whole name. Joseph McCrae, for goodness sakes. I don't know if I would want to be bothered saying Joseph McCrae every freaking time. And I don't know that these people are going to do it either. Elsie says the challenge is work together or the chance of being on the bottom. I mean, yeah. Or not getting your money, whatever the case may be. Can I say that? That's not a Martell Holt thing. Whatever the case may be. Yeah. It's hard though, having different personalities, having to work on a project. Generally, when you get in these groups, somebody who ain't got no business trying to be the leader appoints themselves to leader. Leaders don't appoint themselves. Leaders are appointed. People look to leadership. Don't let me get started on leadership. I'm going to keep it here in the workroom. Anyway, Estrada, Jesus Estrada is back. Hopefully he can remember to say Joseph McCrae, the whole name, but it doesn't matter. Bitches, I'm back. And I'm like, we don't remember you from the first time. Like when they keep showing that picture of him, I'm like, it's been a hard road for Jesus Estrada. Season 7, he was here. In season 7, Jesus Estrada, I'm going to call him Estrada 1. In season 7, Estrada 1 got kicked off because his taste levels was concerning back then. And I feel like his taste levels is still concerning. I'm concerned about his taste levels. I don't think his taste is elevated not much since season 7. But, that's just my opinion. What they say, IMO. I'm just learning that. So, I feel like I'll probably be using it. So when I say IMO, y'all know, I think I'm being cool. He came to do the show this time with his twin brother. I mean, his taste is also concerning. They work together. They have a fashion house or what have you. I don't know that I would be doing anything over there. But, it's something for everybody. And so I'm not the one to judge. I'm just saying it's not somewhere I would be. And the taste level is still not tasting. It's not quite tasty at all. All the designers are entering the workroom. Some entrances are very spicy. Ethan is over here from RuPaul's Drag Race. And what you've got is a designer and a model in Ethan. I hope he doesn't get a plus size girl because that's probably going to happen, Ethan. And you better be able to do that too. All your clothes fitted on yourself, which, by the way, is not a bad situation to have yourself in. If you could put the clothes on and, model them, child, I wish. I can't be my own model. I'm height challenged. Even though I have long legs, the height don't really be heightened like it's supposed to. Not for model life. Anyway. Casey Black, she's back from season 19. She didn't get past season 1, episode 1 in season 19. So, good luck, Casey, I suppose. First challenge is a group challenge. We talked about this. And we're going to go with the Disney princesses versus the villains. Somebody somewhere took a poll, allegedly, and the people's favorite challenge is the Disney princesses and the villains. So, we'll see how these people play together. Estrada 2 just got here. He's already taken leadership of the princess team. He gets over there and he tries to push this ugly butterfly fabric on everyone. I don't like that. Everybody's taste in fabric is different. You bought it from home, take it back to home. You know what I'm saying? So nobody wanted it, but they let it fly anyway. I don't know why. Not everybody, but some people went along with this foolishness. He said that princesses and butterflies go together. Do they? I guess it depends on your perspective. I think princesses sit around and don't do much. So they get to have long fingernails, and lashes and hair and all of these things, makeup, and, you know, they spend their days taking selfies. I'm just saying, princesses don't do much. You know what I'm saying? So if they hang out with butterflies, I guess. What would I do if I was in this situation? If I was over here with Jesus 1 or Jesus 2, not Jesus 2, Estrada. If I was over here with Estrada 2 and he came out with his ugly butterfly fabric, I'm not going to be a disagreeable because it's a group. And I'm not going to take on leadership because I don't know these people and how they work. Now, after I've been there for a few days, if I got to be the leader, I pretty much probably could tell who I would want to work with and why. I just met them, so I'm gonna fall back. This is what I would do. Y'all said that this man can have this ugly butterfly fabric as the inspiration for princesses. Fine. I will go to the fabric store and find the one solid color that blended in with that ugly fabric. Pink, blue, green. Something soft and pastel-y. You know what I mean? Maybe a little sparkly, depending on who my princess is gonna be. Probably an Instagram model, because that's who's gonna buy this stuff if you do it right. Anyway, um, they get a budget of $600. I feel like that's a decent budget for hell. I could do it with $100. So what I could do with $600 to just go get whatever I want is, you know, what they say, cake and eat it too. Yeah, I don't have to figure out like, you know, what corners I'm gonna need to cut. With $600, I could go ahead and splurge on that fabric I've been looking at. Anyway, VJ is in the workroom not responding to her teammates. She's on team villain and she acting like one. That's rude. Like you're supposed to really kind of be getting to know each other. If y'all are all these creatives in the same space, I think it's really dope to be able to bond with someone and y'all can trade like techniques and things, and you can't help but grow as a designer because you're around other creative people. Some people gonna get on your nerves. The Estradas, they could get somewhere. That's probably why VJ went in the corner. But when your teammate comes, he just said, "This is Ethan," walked over there and said, "How's it going?" And VJ ain't said nothing. I don't know if that's really how it happened, but production sure made it seem like that's how it happened. And I'm like, I never really care for the person that comes in with the "I didn't come here to make friends" attitude, because that's crazy talk. Any one of these people can, reach a level of success and bring you aboard. So you definitely should be feeling like these are people I want to get to know. But hey, VJ wanted to sit in the corner and do her own thing. She also comes in wanting to play that "Is That My Machine" game. I stop it. We're not gonna sit here. How many people? There's 12 people in this room, and I don't know how many sewing machines there are, but there were sewing machines available. I'm not gonna walk up to somebody and ask them, "Well, what are you doing on my machine?" Because you already know what it is. This is his machine at this moment. That's why he's using it. And if you don't have 17 seconds, it takes a minute, really, to thread the machine. It's irritating, it's tedious, it's annoying. It don't really take that long. So what the time you spent sitting there going back and forth with this kid about, why you want to use this particular sewing machine, you could have went ahead and did something else. So VJ wants to be, I guess she's playing a character too. It's annoying. And if you're going to play that character, then you better be able to design some things for us to have a reason to want you here. Because for right now, it's a VJ. Casey, who got eliminated after the first challenge the first time, came over here and decided to make a princess cake dress. And I mean, you could do with that what you will. What in your mind do a princess cake dress look like? I feel like we all got the same image of a quinceañera dress or somebody, that thing, that dress that goes on top of the toilet paper in old people's bathroom. That's what I think of when I think of a princess cake dress. But y'all brought KC back. Anyway, Estrada 2 with the butterfly fabric and fabulousness and attitude and all of this advice and everything under the sun except some type of style and taste. Made a simple little party dress out of that butterfly fabric. And Christian was like, this, my intern can make in 30 minutes. And I said, Christian has an intern, and I love everything about that. I would love that. I would love an intern, And then I feel like Christian probably pays good and it's, a fun environment to be around. Yeah. Anyway, Christian started off right here in this workroom. So that's impressive. Christian said, that's it. Now Estrada 2. He's all in his feelings because he was thinking that this butterfly print was going to be the bee's knees and he didn't have to do nothing else. He said he's a Gemini and he doesn't take criticism. Well, I mean, did y'all tell him that there's judges over here? Because I feel like that's what you came over here for, criticism. You came over here to a contest where you create clothing based on certain guidelines, and then you end with a criticism, a judgment. This is season 21. At some point, I feel like you would have known that. He said he was the one that wanted to be on Project Runway in the first place, but his brother got there. I'm starting to see the dynamic in these Estradas. They're actually like the same person. Estrada 1 thinks he's the leader of the group. So he decided he was going to stand everyone, together. Estrada 1 is on villains team. Estrada 2 is on princess team. So Estrada 1, he wants to bring everyone together so we can see if our collection is cohesive. That's what we should do. I mean, how else are you going to know? Apparently, there wasn't a whole lot of, connecting with one another. Everybody was in their perspective quarters creating their own fabulous masterpiece. So they put everything together, and I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. Honestly, I feel like you should communicate definitely in the beginning to figure out what the concept, what direction everyone is going in, who this girl is. And then you go gather the things that fit your aesthetic the most. Like I don't have to, check in with nobody on my design. And then during the process, you kind of collaborate with one another because you're a team. And somebody might suggest that you might do this to a sleeve, or you might turn this into, a shorter skirt. And, ideas are made and collections are born because people are collaborating. But that's not what's happening here. Anyway, Estrada 1 decided he's in charge of the girls. And he looked at, in my opinion, the dress that was probably going to win, at least be in the top three. I feel like Estrada 1 knew he wasn't going over there to mess with Ethan. Ethan is not to be messed with. He came from drag race. So he know how to go. So don't mess with Ethan because Ethan will be ready. He'll be very ready. What's his name? I'm going to get his name. Yu Chin is quiet, or so you thought. That's what you thought. You thought you was going to go over there and sabotage his look, Mr. I'm the leader of the group, with your Patti LaBelle coat on, your design. So he decided we need to be cohesive. So Yu Chin, we're going to take from your lace and somehow spread it amongst the group. And Yu Chin was like, what you won't be doing is taking none of my lace off of my design. I decided this is what I was going to do with it. And I don't have no more lace for you to be slapping things on anything. I'm like, what does that mean? We're going to need to take some off of his design. Is he lost his mind? I was so confused by that. Especially when I was like, the dress is bad. When he came over there, and when I say bad, I mean bad meaning good, not bad meaning bad. But when Christian came over there and gave him constructive criticism, he took it in. He didn't say I'm a Gemini and I don't do criticism. You know what I'm saying? That's what Christian is there for. So, I don't know what he thought. I guess he thought Yu Chin wasn't going to speak up for herself, but he was like, what you want to do is take that ugly red coat that you got on your model and figure out how to chop some pieces of that off and spread it throughout the collection. Mine is going to be this all black dress that I've created here today. Thank you very much. When you don't respect somebody's taste level, you're not about to let them come tell you how to do anything with your stuff. That's what I think. What would I do if I were in that situation? I would tell Estrada to go fly one. That's what I would do. I'm not taking advice from somebody whose taste levels is concerning. Anyway, we get it on the runway. What did the villains put out? Ah, I get to click it and the whole show's over. This is the villains. So I personally, I have gone back and forth whether I felt like Yu Chin or Ethan should be number one. And so after watching it again, I feel like I'm going to go actually with Yu Chin. I feel like I loved what Ethan did. I can't see the jumpsuit. It's all cape for me. And so even though, it looks dressed, I can't really see anything that's going on. I'm sure it's bad, but I can't see it. So, I'm going to take away a little for that. But, all the drama of it all, it was beautiful. I'm sure it's impeccably, constructed also because Ethan seems to be a good seamstress. But I'm going to give my vote to Yu Chin. Estrada won, was the other one on top. I agree with Jude Law. Jude Law said he hated every bit of this. He said it reminded him of a Haitian auntie. It's very much given auntie. The only real good thing about it was the coat. I just feel like that dress is matronly. And so I don't know, I don't know. I wasn't feeling the dress. The coat was, it could have been fly, but it just was not. Just like that curl on his forehead is not fly. If it were up to me, I actually would have put Alex in the third spot. Her dress, it had a little, I don't know, it felt modern to me, like a modern version of something Audrey Hepburnish. She played with some interesting shapes. And so instead of Estrada 1, I definitely would have went with Alex. Not Yu Chin. VJ. VJ was over here in the corner all that time to build a dress where you can't see this lady's body. I don't know what she is shaped like. I know he got some leather straps, so he turned into a big old tunic and then put this lady in, a sheath underneath. So he definitely, ugh. What's this boy, Rosa? I forget his name. That's how quiet he is. This is nothing. This is a pair of drawstring pants and a tube top with a sash slung over the shoulder. That's not design. So he's very quiet and he talks a lot about his daughter. I think that's very sweet, but we don't care. We want to see some fashion on this runway, and this ain't it. So for me, in the top two were definitely interchangeable. I may have changed my mind had that cape come off at some point so I could see what's under there. But both of them have really strong, Angelo, thank you, El Cid. They both have really strong technical skills. So that's what I want to see. I don't really want to see somebody that's still just trying to figure it out. This was the bottom. And some of these pictures, I'm sorry, but they make it very difficult for you to find, the looks instead of just the next day after the show. Not even the next day. A couple days after the show, go ahead and let the looks be out. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Joan referred to her look as a princess / queen. And Joan, she's a princess / queen. She's not a princess. She's very matronly. And although, I think her applique technique is beautiful, I feel like it's aged, it's mature, and That's okay, but that makes for a seamstress, not a designer. Um, she's got great ideas, but she needs to figure out a way to, make them more useful. And then maybe that's why she's here. Maybe she could take that from somebody like Elsie. What's this girl's name? Bailey, Little Mama, Little Mama, Little Mama made an actual Princess Jasmine dress. It looks like everything she makes. She makes the same kind of little silhouette skirt and the same little top. Belania, oh B. I'm gonna call her B because I'm not gonna butcher her name every week. Um, yeah, I feel like she's got some ideas, but she's very juniorish in her design. She's very immature in her design. Joseph McCray wanted to make a sofa dress with wings as the collar. This was hideous. Nothing about this says princess. He doesn't do a very good job at styling his model. Um, I wish I could see what her style is when they come in the workroom. I want to see what she does with herself. I guarantee you it's better than whatever he's got going on over here. There's nothing flattering about this. She looks like, I don't know, the Michelin Man queen. And that's not about her. That's about that coat, that big old puffy coat with that stupid collar. Anyway, it's a no for me, Joseph McCray. This is what you came here with out the gate. I don't want to see, although he makes the very dope jackets, I don't want to see the same bomber jacket on everything he does. So I hope he can figure out, like, we did it once, we did it again. I'm not really looking forward to seeing a bunch of jackets from Joseph McCray. Madeline's was cute. Now, to me, I feel like if this is a modern little princess, honestly, showing up being bratty somewhere, you know what I'm saying? It's a little different. She's got a little midriff out, and yeah, I'm feeling Madeline's princess look. Out of all of them, I think hers is definitely the best. She's the best in a bunch, whole lot of mess. Um, Estrada 2. Well, this is this fabulous fabric that he brought that doesn't really match anything, and a whole bunch of tools scoofed together. He likes some ruffles and scoofles and buzzles and things, but seems like him and Casey were in the same party. It was a cupcake, Barbie dress of some kind, princess. I'm gonna be honest. They came over here and played with Casey because I don't think her dress is worse than Joseph McCray's Michelin Man couch dress. Motown investor. You're so glad that someone is reviewing this show. A couple of someones are reviewing the show. But right here, every Wednesday, you can find me and we can talk about it. Let me know what you think about these designs that they got going on over here. Who's in the bottom? Of course, the villains win. So I don't know. I feel like there were definitely some strong, obvious winners over here. This didn't seem like a very hard challenge for the judges. Estrada thinks he's being punked, which is funny to me, but we'll get to that. La Roche really gave it to Estrada 1 when he when he tore that dress apart. I'm not sure what it is. Like, we know he's spicy, but it feels like there's something going on with these Estradas and La Roche and their attitudes, and he don't like it. He wasn't wrong, though. I'll say that. Estrada 2, he had a lot of attitude, too. He told them that he was a Gemini. He's a Latina So he wasn't being disrespectful because I had a little back and forth. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand your attitude and your energy. I mean, I guess he's emotional. He's a Gemini. He's a Latina. What do you say? You love the villain dress that La Roche hated. I did not like it. I was right there with La Roche. I was not a fan of it at all. But, that's what happens when people have their own ideas and opinions about things. It wasn't horrible, but I feel like Alex's dress was actually better. I like the coat. That's what I said if you weren't here earlier. I like the coat. I don't like the dress. I feel like if that skirt was some pants, it might have said something different to me. But it was matronly the way he put it together. The edits, yeah. And I guess when you come with something next to these two guys who have phenomenal dresses, with all this attitude and not humble at all. So I guess maybe that's the energy that he was getting from La Roche. I think they both have stink attitudes. His brother blamed everything on Christian. Christian told me to do this. Christian told me to add the code. Christian did not tell you to do any of that. Christian didn't tell you to bring that ugly butterfly fabric. Christian said that dress was simple and that you needed to add something. Then you covered up the dress with a bunch of ruffles. So that's all on you. That's, like Elsie said, it's how you edit and put things together. Both of y'all came over here with a birthday princess dress. And I mean, I guess if you like birthday cake, or like your clothes to look like birthday cake, then this is what you do. Christian said his intern could do it in 30 minutes. There you go. So, relax, Estrada. Yes, he called it a loofah dress. It looks like a loofah. It don't look like a loofah. It looks like a loofah. And I feel like they hear that so often that they should probably always, when they go that direction, be like, I don't want a loofah. This other lady, KC, she wrapped a loofah around some brocade. Anyway. So this season, you won't get to know who's out. It's going to be a cliffhanger. You don't get to know. You got to spend the whole week wondering who got kicked off. Not this week because they played them back to back, but from now on, at the end of every episode, you won't know who goes home until next week. Breasts need to breathe freely. Are you talking about what's the name? Stress? What's his name? Estrada, the one that La Roche hated. I didn't have a problem with the breast part of it. I guess everybody, looks at something different. She's a thicker woman, so her breasts were covered. That part didn't bother me so much. I just felt like it was matronly the way he put the things together. Like if you put that jacket, take that jacket and put it with some jeans and maybe a black halter top and some boots. Now you're a rock star and you're doing something different. He didn't do that. He put her in that, lace dress and it didn't read. What dress are you talking about? Which one are you talking about? You said you like the breast of the dress. The breast of the dress? Women need to be free? I don't know. I don't know which dress you're talking about, but you let me know. Jesus dress. That's what I thought. Should I put it back up there? That ain't it. Went too far. This one. Yes. Jesus's dress. I didn't have a problem with that part. Like I was saying, her breasts don't even look like, you know what I'm saying? To me, they don't. The breasts don't look bad in the dress. I actually like the lace. I think the cut of that shirt is a little bit dated. If he would have given that top a different shape, not that thing around her neck, you know what I'm saying? And then now I'm restyling the dress. And if that skirt to me were pants, then she would have looked, like I said, like a rock star. Right now, she looks like a Haitian auntie with a dope coat. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about, the one the twins had. Um. Anyway, yeah, we don't know who goes home until the following week. So since they did 2 episodes, we know that they sent Casey home. I wasn't looking forward to seeing Casey really anyway, because never in my life would I be anywhere wearing a princess birthday cake dress. But was it worse than Joseph McCrae's puffer jacket dress thing? I don't know. I don't know that it was worse, but I guess they figured let's take a chance with Joseph McCrae because his ideas are modern. And Casey is over here sticking everything but the kitchen sink on the dresses. And, she said, I think it was beautiful. She's in love with her dress, I guess. But I'm like, where is she going? This girl with this birthday cake princess dress. It looks like a cake and it looks like frosting wrapped all around it. Yeah, yeah, it looks like a birthday cake princess dress. I don't want to hang out with this princess. I don't know what she's the princess of, but to each his own. So, on to episode 2. We still got teams. I'm just doing everything now. Where am I at? Here we go. We still got teams. So, what happened? Ethan, who was the winner of the last challenge, has the opportunity to swap team members. He can boot somebody off of his team and pick them up another person from the other team. So he got a chance to sleep on it. And after that, he went ahead and he kicked Estrada 1 over there with his brother, which is what I would have done. I would not have took any opportunity to be keeping Estrada around because simply he's annoying. So, yeah, over here trying to tell people how to cut up their dresses and things. He said, y'all keep talking about your dynamic duo. We want to see that. We want to see how y'all do over there as the dynamic duo. He took Madeline. I think Madeline has got some modern ideas. I think that was a smart move. Yeah, I think that was a smart move. They may not have had a connection, I think they did have a connection. They just didn't have a leader. Anyway, the challenge is athletic wear, and it's supposed to be from workout to weekend. They want something versatile, and the winning person will get their look produced by favorite daughter. So that's cool to put together a look that, is actually going to be produced and sold. So kudos to that. I'm not familiar with favorite daughter, but I'm going to look it up after I'm done here. So they changed the names of the teams. The House of Burn versus the House of Lotus. House of Lotus got them twins on it. When I look at them like this, I feel like that's a lot going on. That's a whole lot going on in the House of Lotus. You got the twins who, are fuzzy and, over the top. And then you've got Joseph McCrae, who, I don't know what he's doing over there with the ribbons tying together. He got a lot of ideas. You got Miss Joan over here, who's very creative and very sophisticated, but she might be a little bit matronly. And you've got B over here, who's got ideas, but she's not very polished. And I feel like she's not very exposed either. I feel like her ideas may, streetwear, you get a little bit of something, but then what? What is your inspiration? She needs to elevate, maybe just a little bit. House of Burn, you've got Ethan, who's super talented and probably a good sewer based on what we can see. His construction is good. You got Alex. Her sewing skills are questionable. And maybe she dropped out of a textile class. Madeline style I like. I don't know about her construction just yet. I think the first time her construction was good, so it depends on. Clearly, she doesn't like using stretch fabric. She's a math girl. VJ. I don't really know what to say about VJ. VJ thinks she's a bad bitch, but she might not be as much of a bad bitch as she thinks she is. Yu Chin. I feel like Yu Chin is very versatile. Now he shows all this streetwear stuff, but that dress he made was super feminine, super wearable. So I think he holding his cards and ain't telling the truth. And Angelo, he's kind of mayonnaisey and probably won't be around for long if he doesn't learn how to add some pizzazz. This is a TV show. Where am I at? Soon as the challenge gets started, here comes a Strata 2 with some more ugly fabric. Now, I don't know why they let him do this, but get out of here with this fabric. His fabric's, come on. We're not doing that. We get to go to Mood. I don't bring nothing else from your house. I'm going to go to Mood and we're going to collectively pick something that everybody likes. Not this, it looked like Olivia Newton-John and leg warmers and things. Talk about somebody back in the day. He back in the day, back in the 80s when, headbands were a thing. He said, Miss Joan is old school. She said she didn't like that fabric. He says she kind of old school, like back in the day. Is she? It fits. At least it fits. And, it's well made. So Alex decided that she's going to make a kimono sweatsuit with a comfortable corset. I feel like, Alex, just when you say that out loud, it sounds like there's going to be some textile problems. Never in my life have I wanted to put on a sweatsuit with a corset. If I'm putting on a sweatsuit, I want to be comfortable. That doesn't make sense to be comfortable everywhere except I can't breathe. Ethan, Ethan has got a fabulous jumpsuit that he's putting together, and he's got some ideas. He just needs to work through them. And I feel like Christian definitely helped him, manage to push that idea through. Ethan said he was from a podunk small town. And I was like, podunk small towns always breed, drag queens. I feel like all the most over-the-top fabulous girls that come, through the drag race are always from some small town that was trying to stifle them. And they were like, get the hell out of here. And a glitter cloud came and they ran through it. And it was freedom from there. I don't know where he said he came from, a podunk town. I don't know where he's living now. Hopefully somewhere where he can be free. So I don't know. I feel like when you come on a show like this, you should definitely expose yourself to working with different kinds of fabrics, because they always come through and then say things like, I don't work with prints and I don't work with stretch knits. And, you just stay stuck in your little bubble, which is fine for you. But if you're going to come over here, there's going to be different expectations. I feel like this was a super easy challenge. And oh my God, I don't know what the heck they came up with over here. When Alex's look went down the runway, she said, what did she say? It's not as bad as I expected it to be. It's messy. It's absolutely messy. Because why would you try to make a kimono pant out of fleece, out of sweatpant material? So that was, destined for madness. And then she's got this corset on with this tail in the front, which on a plus size woman. So I can imagine what that's doing over top of her stomach. She's got little things hanging from the collar, which seems like to some extent, I don't know, once you get in the workroom, you start being influenced by other people. So they haven't really been around each other long enough to influence one another. But I don't know what those things are. They're not a tie. They're just hanging there. VJ. They hated her look a lot. And I'm not sure why. because it's okay. I think it's not what the challenge asked for. So that part I get, but this lady was talking about the strings you might her in tampons, and I'm like, okay, that's not what that looks like. I think it's a lot of craftsmanship involved. I think it's flattering just because of the way, she cut the panels. I think if she had made it a top and a pant of some sort, then maybe she would have been in the top. It wasn't horrible to me, but they hated it. Angelo. Angelo's look to me was honestly not that bad. You want a fashion show. Yeah. So, like I said, he's going to have to figure a way to spice it up. But Angelo is not spicy. He's quiet, like on volume. So I don't know how spicy it's supposed to be. Would I go get that? Probably not, because I could get it anywhere. That's the problem. I could literally go to Walmart probably and get some sweats that, somewhat similar to that. So, yeah, I think that's it as far as, you want to do something that's going to make it pop, that make it look more interesting. My girl, Madeline, I hate this. I think it was worse than Angelo's, honestly. I'm not sure why she didn't end up in the bottom and why she was safe. It just doesn't make sense. It's just a tube skirt with some, red piping around it. So if you're gonna knock, what's his name, Estrada, then you should have something to say about this. Would you work out in this? This doesn't look like anything I would work out in. I wouldn't want that skirt and I wouldn't want that top. So, at least Angelo's outfit, I would wear that. And VJ's too. I don't know what Alex is doing over here with that thing, but it's not something I would put on. If I had that little bitty booty, I would wear that thing, this two-piece that Yu Chin came up with. I feel like that is fire. That skirt is very short. And in real life, he need to put about 2-3 inches on that skirt. But that outfit is fire. And yeah, I feel like there's a lot of little young girls like with little tiny ones. When you got little bitty booty and little thighs like that, you put on a skirt like that and it doesn't really, it's just cute. It's not the same thing when you got thick old thighs and a big old booty. And then you can put little, cheerleader panties under it. I think, Yu Chin, I'm a fan. So far, he's, on my top as far as who I like the best. It's definitely running him and Ethan. They're neck and neck because Ethan's also, his look is fabulous, but I have seen it on a drag runway before. And it wasn't his idea. I'm not saying he stole it. I'm just saying it's not brand new. I've seen it before, but it's fire and I would definitely wear it. Not with those sandals, but yeah, those two really, are on my top. Unfortunately, Teen Lotus was not on top, so somebody gonna have to go home. It's not really hard to figure out, I don't think. Winning team. I didn't really care much for what they had going on either, to be honest. This is the winning team. Estrada too. That fabric, I hate it. It looks cheap. And she got one glove on. So, okay, Ethan had a glove on his model last challenge. So now here you come with a glove. Miss Joan, I don't hate it, but I feel like it's also still matronly. I feel like I wish she would not have used that fabric. If it was all black, it would be so, my opinion would be completely different. I would have told him, okay, I'll make mine black. That goes with everything. I'm not putting this ugly ass fabric, but she did it. She let him. She verbally said she didn't like it both times, but then she went with it when she could have went not with it. If she would have did all black with that yellow trim, I might feel differently about it. That top, it's cute, I guess, for going out. You can't work out in it, but if you had a jacket on top of it and you went out one night, I suppose it's a look. B, love this skirt. I love this skirt a lot. My only issue with the skirt is wish she would have left that stupid print off of it. She could put it on the top, but it didn't have to be on the skirt. That skirt is fire, and it would have been even more fire if she didn't add, Estrada 2's ugly print fabric. That halter top, I don't like it so much. It's not a cut for me. I feel like it's not flattering, but I do like the black undershirt. So good job, B. Joseph McCray. I like the hat. Not a fan of the halter top. The jacket was very nice. The skirt is not flattering on this young lady. So, and those glasses make her look silly. She looks like the female version of him, but it's not flattering on her. I feel like, again, if he would have made a pant or a long skirt, not saying her legs need to be covered, because you could make a long skirt and put a long split in it and it's still sexy, but those proportions are just kind of weird. That circle skirt where it's hitting her thigh. I do like the idea she has the little workout pants underneath. So, kudos to him for that. But he's definitely given a look. I like this a lot better than the sofa cushion dress that he made that really should have, anyway. And Estrada won. He won this challenge. He won this challenge because everybody else was bad. So if that makes him feel good, like, I don't love those pants at all. The jacket is okay, but that cut is not going to be flattering on very many people unless you're straight up and down, with a flat stomach. That cut's not necessarily going to be flattering. Whereas with B's skirt, it's a skirt for one thing, but I feel like it doesn't hit in that same weird spot. Anyway, we won't know who goes home because they're going to give us a cliffhanger. If I had to guess, I would assume that Miss Thing over here with the kimono sweatsuit probably doesn't stand a very good chance of staying. So, and I mean, she shouldn't, because it was bad. I think, sometimes they get so caught up in executing, because she was talking about her family, her Japanese heritage, and, sometimes you can't really incorporate that into your look. You know what I'm saying? That idea doesn't make sense when you're talking about sweatpants. It sounds like a whole lot of fabric. You know what I'm saying? So she could have used her culture as inspiration for a different challenge. This wasn't it. She doesn't work out, because she definitely wouldn't have put a corset on with that thinger on it. Anyway, y'all, Wednesday we will be back, and what I will do is I will have my villain look prepared for Wednesday. I will also have my athletic, versatile look prepared for Wednesday. And so every week when we come back, you're going to let me know what you think of my look, whether I should be in the top, whether I should be in the bottom, or whether I should be safe. And I'll figure out a poll or something so you can, see what my aesthetic is like. For those of you who just getting over here, I have entered myself in the Project Runway Season 21 race. And I'll be offering up looks of my own based on their criteria. So we have a villain. I'm not a princess, don't want to be a princess. I'm going to be a villain. And and the athletic look. So tomorrow, 7:00, I'll probably be over here for a little timeline tea. Haven't done that in a minute. And I'll put my schedule up so you can see where I am and when I'm going to be there. In the meantime, y'all, thank you for hanging out in a little Project Runway intro. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye, y'all.